around Clown World. Nothing highlights that we become victims of our own success like trigger warnings. Because apparently, the youth of today don't have real problems anymore. However, that might change this fall. Because there's nothing like a stone cold dose of sobering reality when you're facing potential food shortages. Worldwide food shortages. Seriously, folks, if you're not preparing for this, it's your own damn fault. But I digress. Anyway, where was I? Oh, that's right, we're talking about trigger warnings and how retarded they are. And odds are, if you need a trigger warning, then you probably need to go see a therapist because you got problems. Which reminds me, I went rummaging through the old garbage heap and look what I found. Warning, this channel is intended for mature audiences and should not be viewed by children. And that includes adult children. If you have heart problems, irritable bowel syndrome, acid reflux, spinal meningitis, allergies, or are easily triggered or offended by opinions that are contrary to your own, then you should probably go and consult a doctor before going and consuming this content. Or you can simply just grow the fuck up. Viewer discretion is advised. I figured since we're talking about trigger warnings, it was worth going and digging up that old gem. Naturally with some updates for 2022. Mainly to reflect the nuttiness of current year. Anyway, apparently Hulu released a new movie called It's Not Okay, which features an unlikable female protagonist. And apparently that's worthy of a trigger warning. That's right, folks, apparently society has become so fragile that the mere presence of an unlikable female protagonist is enough to cause people emotional damage. Think about this, folks. 200,000 years of human evolution, fighting and crawling our way to the top of the food chain. And this is the culmination of that struggle. We are so fucked. Now, the protagonist of this movie is a woman called Dani, who becomes famous because she pretends to be a victim of a terrorist attack. Now, I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, this has to be satire. Oh, it's not. The content warning was born out of, to be honest, our test screenings, she said. She being the director of the film, Quinn Shepard. During a recent interview with IndieWire, we unironically and consistently got responses from, and I'm not going to say what demographic, but you might be able to guess, probably women. Why would someone make a movie with an unlikable woman? It's something I've repeatedly heard, and a lot of my other writer friends have as well. Now, if you've been paying attention over the last several years, this type of reaction actually makes sense. It has everything to do with the way women have been portrayed over the last several years in entertainment. Women are perfect, beautiful creatures that don't have to struggle or work to achieve their goals. And when they counter any kind of resistance, it's either the fault of a man, society, or the patriarchy. And when a story comes along and deviates from that narrative, well, the people that go and consume that content naturally collectively shit themselves. If you portray flawed women or women who reflect society's flaws, you get notes like this. I literally don't understand why you even told a story about this character. Well, this is what happens when you pander to the likes of social justice warriors, feminists, and the woke cancel culture mob. And when they get a slight dose of reality, oh my god, they're confronted with the fact that women aren't perfect. Shepard couldn't wrap her head around that, mostly because films featuring unlikable male protagonists are often hailed as modern masterpieces. From American Psycho to The Wolf of Wall Street, audiences understood that those films were a statement and not an endorsement, Shepard said. Why can't the same apply to Not Okay? The answer, in my opinion, is rather obvious. It's because we've been conditioned to believe that women are the victim and never the victimizer. This is a direct result of the Me Too era of entertainment. After all, it was only 6 short years ago, which quite frankly feels like an eternity, when Rose McGowan was calling out the X-Men billboard for showing Mystique being strangled by Apocalypse. Which is ultimately the reason why we end up with bland and unlikable female characters such as Ray Palpatine, Michael Burnham, Jodie Whittaker's Dr. Karen, and who can forget Captain Marvel? Or for that matter, any female character coming out of MCU phase diminishing returns. And to portray a female character that is anything but perfect requires a trigger warning. We truly do live in the retarded age. It's a miracle of modern inconvenience. Seriously, food shortages, folks, get ready for them.